When I was young, I remember Rockford being on a lot of lists of idyllic places to live. Very clean city, there were a lot of jobs, there was a lot of industry. It was a good place to raise a family. Rockford changed when the major manufacturing companies that were in town began slowly having those jobs out of the city. When a lot of the jobs disappeared, we ended up with a lot of islands of poverty, and that poverty created crime. Rockford today is a place that has a system of corruption and poor decisions. A lot of my friends were always complaining, and I was always complaining. I found myself one day preparing to complain, saying, okay, instead of complaining, what can I do to change this? When I first got involved in politics, I had faith that the political process ultimately worked. But I began to lose faith very quickly. What I found was everything boiled down to the corrupting influence of money in politics. It was a real wake-up call. And I no longer felt like it was something I wanted to be involved with. That was about the time that I met Elizabeth.
Illinois is, by any measure, one of the most corrupt states in the country. 4 of our 9 last governors are in jail. So it is very corrupt, it is very machine-like. In the past few decades, as money began to take over American politics, it became more and more apparent to the average American that the things they cared about weren't the things that the legislators were actually acting on. This is going to be an informational forum about the proposed Illinois Anti-Corruption Act. It doesn't have to be this way. Whether it's the debt, or climate change, or the cost of higher education, we're not going to be able to solve all those problems until we really have a representative democracy in this country.
When I first learned of the representatives movement from Elizabeth, I was skeptical, quite frankly. When I went to the meeting, I listened to what she had to say, and I wanted to be a part of that. They don't push Democratic, they don't push Republican, they don't push Independent. They have one single agenda: to get big money out of politics. And anybody from any walk of life can be a part of it.
We are going to be talking to everyone running for the Illinois General Assembly. Right now, Represent Rockford is working with the Illinois Campaign for Political Reform on writing an Illinois Anti-Corruption Act. We want this thing to be a people-generated piece of legislation. We have talked about an Anti-Corruption Act having disclosure requirements, conflict of interest requirements, and a citizen-funded election piece. We're passing legislation at the state and local level, and our ultimate goal is to pass the act through the United States Congress. What do you guys think about the corrupting influence of money in politics?
It is a big question.
We're a nonpartisan group looking to get the corrupting influence of money out of politics. We were actually able to get a non-binding question on the ballot. That was huge.
Our non-binding advisory question got 87% of people supporting that. There are very few political ideas that 87% of voters agree on.
It won't be perfect, but everybody needs to speak up, because if you don't, then it's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm making change within my community.
We are fiercely cross-partisan. I consider myself more of a liberal, but the people that are here with me today are definitely conservatives. Jimmy here and I disagree on lots of different things, right, Jimmy?
Yes.
Yes, but we agree on this thing. We agree about eliminating the corrupting influence of money in politics. If every person out there who felt powerless went out and actually did something, we would find out how powerful we really are. We need a lot of people to just do a little bit to support it, and we could get it done.
Until we truly begin to believe once more that our voices matter, nothing's going to change.